Welcome, seekers of the unknown, to Mystery Theory, where every story is a puzzle, every clue a piece, and every episode a journey into the mysterious. I'm Mist, your guide through the shadows and secrets of the world's most enigmatic tales, from unsolved crimes and haunted histories to cryptic conspiracies and paranormal phenomena. We delve deep into the stories that defy explanation. Prepare yourself for a ride into the unknown, because here at Mystery Theory, the truth is often stranger than fiction. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. The mystery awaits. Departure from New York. The Mary Celeste. Background and construction. The Mary Celeste was a brigantine, a two-masted sailing vessel built in Spencer's Island, Nova Scotia. Launched in 1861 under the name Amazon, she was constructed from resilient local timber. The ship was 103 feet in length, 25.7 feet in breadth, and had a depth of 11.7 feet. Her original owners were a consortium of local businessmen, and she was intended for the Atlantic trade routes. Early career and misfortunes. The Amazon had an unlucky start. Her first captain, Robert McClellan, fell ill and died shortly after the maiden voyage. Subsequent voyages were marred by several mishaps, including a collision in the English Channel and a grounding near Cow Bay, Nova Scotia. After a series of repairs and changes in ownership, the ship was sold to American owners in 1867. In 1868, she was renamed the Mary Celeste. Captain Benjamin Briggs. By 1872, the Mary Celeste was under the command of Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs. Born in Wareham, Massachusetts in 1835, Briggs was a devout Christian from a seafaring family. He was known for his integrity and competence. Briggs had previously captained several ships and was a part owner of the Mary Celeste. He invested considerable effort into ensuring the vessel was seaworthy and well-maintained. The crew. For the ill-fated voyage, Briggs assembled a crew of 7 experienced sailors. Albert G. Richardson, first mate, a seasoned mariner from Maine, trusted by Briggs for his skill and reliability. Andrew Gilling, second mate. Originally from Denmark, Gilling was known for his proficiency and dedication. Edward William Head, steward. Responsible for provisioning and maintaining the living quarters, Head was an essential part of the crew. Volkert Lorentzen, Arian Martins, Boz Lorenzen, and Gottlieb Goodschad, seamen. These 4 able seamen were all Germans with solid reputations as diligent workers. The Briggs family. Accompanying Briggs on this voyage were his wife, Sarah Elizabeth Cobb Briggs, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia Matilda Briggs. Sarah, described as a devoted wife and mother, often joined her husband on his voyages. She kept a detailed journal, chronicling their travels and the life aboard the ship. Sophia, a lively toddler, was the light of her parents' lives. The voyage preparations. The Mary Celeste was loaded with a cargo of 1701 barrels of denatured alcohol, a type of industrial alcohol not intended for consumption. The cargo was consigned to H. Mascarenhas and Company in Genoa, Italy. Denatured alcohol was commonly used for industrial purposes, including as a solvent and fuel. The cargo was secured in the hold, and the ship was provisioned with ample supplies for the voyage, including food, water, and other necessities for 6 months. Before departure, Briggs wrote a letter to his mother, expressing his optimism about the journey and mentioning the fine weather. He also noted the excellent condition of the ship and the high morale of the crew. The Mary Celeste set sail from New York Harbor on November 7, 1872. The journey begins. The voyage across the Atlantic began smoothly. The Mary Celeste encountered typical late autumn weather with moderate winds and seas. Captain Briggs maintained a meticulous logbook, recording their progress and daily observations. The ship's speed averaged around 6 knots, and they made steady progress toward their destination. Last known position. According to the logbook, on November 25, the Mary Celeste was situated near the Azores, an archipelago in the mid-Atlantic. The last entry in the logbook was routine, noting the ship's position and weather conditions. There were no indications of distress or unusual activity. This would be the last recorded contact with the Mary Celeste before her mysterious fate unfolded. The stage was set for one of the most enduring maritime mysteries in history. The Mary Celeste was a ship in good condition, with an experienced captain, a capable crew, and no apparent reasons for concern. Yet, within days, something would happen aboard that ship, leading to its abandonment and the disappearance of everyone on board, leaving behind an enigma that would captivate the world for centuries to come. The discovery. On December 4, 1872, the British brig Dei Gratia, commanded by Captain David Reed Morehouse, was sailing from New York to Gibraltar. The Dei Gratia and its crew were on a similar route to that of the Mary Celeste, though they had left New York 8 days later. On December 5, midway between the Azores and Portugal, the Dei Gratia crew spotted an erratically drifting vessel. Recognizing the ship as the Mary Celeste, Morehouse was puzzled and concerned. He knew Captain Benjamin Briggs and his reputation well, and the sight of his ship in such a state was alarming. Boarding the Mary Celeste. Captain Morehouse sent his first mate, Oliver Devoe, along with a boarding party, to investigate the Mary Celeste. As Devoe and his men approached the vessel, they noticed its sails were partially set, and the ship appeared to be in reasonable condition, showing no obvious signs of distress or damage. However, they quickly realized that something was terribly wrong. Upon boarding the Mary Celeste, the men found the ship eerily deserted. The cabin and decks were silent, with no sign of the captain, his family, or the crew. The personal belongings of the crew and passengers were undisturbed, and there were no indications of a struggle or violence. The ship's logbook was found in the mate's cabin, with the last entry dated November 25, placing the ship near the Azores. Condition of the vessel. The Mary Celeste was in a seaworthy state, though there were a few puzzling details. The lifeboat. The ship's only lifeboat was missing, suggesting that the crew had abandoned ship. The ship's log and navigation instruments. The captain's navigational instruments and the ship's papers were also missing, which would typically be taken in an emergency evacuation. The cargo. The cargo of 1701 barrels of denatured alcohol was largely intact, though it was later discovered that 9 barrels were empty. Water in the hold. There was about 3.5 feet of water in the ship's hold, but this was not a critical amount for a vessel of the Mary Celeste's size. Rigging and sails. Some of the rigging was damaged, and a few sails were missing or torn, but these issues were not severe enough to endanger the ship's stability. Food and provisions. The ship was well stocked with food and water, sufficient for 6 months or more. Theories and initial speculations. Captain Morehouse and his crew were baffled by the scene. They decided to sail the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, where a salvage hearing could be conducted. During the journey, there was ample time for speculation about what might have led to the abandonment of a perfectly seaworthy ship. Several initial theories emerged among the crew of the Dei Gratia. Piracy. The idea of piracy was quickly dismissed since the valuable cargo and personal belongings were untouched. Mutiny. A mutiny seemed unlikely given the lack of struggle or violence, plus the strong character references of the crew. Natural disaster. Some speculated that a sudden and violent natural event, such as a waterspout or seaquake, might have caused the crew to panic and abandon ship. Alcohol fumes. Another theory was that fumes from the alcohol cargo might have caused an explosion or the fear of one. However, there was no evidence of an explosion on the ship. Arrival in Gibraltar. The Mary Celeste arrived in Gibraltar on December 13, 1872, to await a salvage hearing. The British Vice Admiralty Court conducted a thorough investigation led by Frederick Solly Flood, the Attorney General of Gibraltar. The inquiry aimed to determine whether any foul play or negligence had occurred and to decide on the salvage rights. During the hearing, testimonies from the Dei Gratia crew and various experts were examined. Solly Flood was initially suspicious of the Dei Gratia crew, suspecting that they might have had a hand in the disappearance of the Mary Celeste's crew. However, no evidence supported these suspicions, and the Dei Gratia crew was eventually exonerated. The court awarded the Dei Gratia crew a salvage payment, though it was significantly lower than expected, reflecting the unresolved nature of the mystery. Despite extensive investigations, no definitive explanation emerged for the abandonment of the Mary Celeste, and the fate of her crew remained an enigma. The mystery deepens. The story of the Mary Celeste captivated the public and became a prominent topic in newspapers and maritime circles. The vessel itself, now infamous, continued to sail under different owners, but it never escaped its haunted reputation. The enigma of the Mary Celeste's ghostly voyage endures as one of maritime history's most compelling mysteries, a puzzle that has intrigued and baffled generations. Theories and speculations. The initial investigations. After the Mary Celeste was brought to Gibraltar, the Court of Inquiry, led by Attorney General Frederick Solly Flood, meticulously examined every aspect of the case. Solly Flood was determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious abandonment, and he scrutinized the ship and its contents for any clues. Alcohol fumes theory. One of the most plausible theories that emerged was related to the ship's cargo of denatured alcohol. 9 barrels were found empty, suggesting there might have been a leak. The theory proposed that fumes from the alcohol could have built up in the hold, creating a potential explosion hazard. Fearing an imminent explosion, Captain Briggs might have ordered the crew to temporarily evacuate the ship in the lifeboat until the danger passed. However, something could have gone wrong, preventing them from returning. Seaquake or waterspout. Another possible explanation was a natural disaster such as a seaquake or a waterspout. A seaquake could have caused a sudden and violent shaking of the ship, leading the crew to believe the vessel was in danger of sinking. Similarly, a waterspout, a tornado-like column of water, might have caused confusion and panic. Both scenarios could have prompted a hasty evacuation. Piracy. Piracy was initially considered, but quickly dismissed. There were no signs of violence or robbery, and the valuable cargo and personal belongings were untouched. The condition of the ship suggested that whatever happened did not involve external attackers. Mutiny and foul play. The theory of mutiny was also explored but found to be unlikely. The crew had no known grievances, and there were no signs of a struggle. Furthermore, Captain Briggs was well respected, and the crew was carefully selected for their reliability. Solly Flood did entertain the idea that the Dei Gratia crew might have been involved, but there was no evidence to support this, and it was eventually ruled out. Lifeboat malfunction. One practical theory suggested that the crew abandoned ship in an orderly fashion, possibly to address a perceived threat, but were unable to return due to a malfunction with the lifeboat. If the lifeboat was lost or damaged, the crew could have been left adrift and perished at sea. Supernatural and extraterrestrial theories. As the mystery captured the public imagination, more fantastical explanations emerged. Some speculated about sea monsters, ghost ships, or alien abductions. These theories, while intriguing, lacked any evidence and were largely dismissed by serious investigators. A hypothetical scenario. Based on the available evidence, a hypothetical scenario could be constructed. Alcohol fumes. A leak in the cargo of denatured alcohol could have caused the buildup of toxic fumes. Evacuation. Captain Briggs, fearing an explosion, ordered a temporary evacuation to the lifeboat, taking essential documents and navigational instruments. Lifeboat disaster. While waiting for the fumes to dissipate, the lifeboat might have been separated from the Mary Celeste due to a sudden storm or high waves, stranding the crew. Stranded at sea. Unable to return to the Mary Celeste, the crew and passengers could have perished at sea, leaving the ship to drift until discovered by the Dei Gratia. Continuing investigations and modern theories. Over the years, many researchers and historians have revisited the case of the Mary Celeste. Modern scientific techniques and new insights have led to additional theories, but none have definitively solved the mystery. The story of the Mary Celeste remains a topic of fascination in maritime history and continues to inspire books, documentaries, and fictional accounts. The enduring mystery. Despite the many theories and extensive investigations, the true fate of the Mary Celeste's crew remains unknown. The ship itself continued to sail under various owners, plagued by misfortune and accidents. In 1885, the Mary Celeste met her final fate when she was deliberately wrecked off the coast of Haiti in an insurance fraud scheme. The legacy of the Mary Celeste endures as one of the greatest maritime mysteries of all time. The story of the ship and its missing crew remains an enigma, a haunting reminder of the sea's capacity to keep its secrets. Theories continue to be proposed, but without new evidence, the fate of Captain Briggs, his family, and the crew of the Mary Celeste will likely remain an unsolved puzzle, captivating the imaginations of historians, sailors, and mystery enthusiasts alike. The legacy of the Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste, after the incident, after being salvaged and brought to Gibraltar, the Mary Celeste was eventually auctioned off and continued to sail under different owners. Despite its sturdy construction and generally seaworthy condition, the ship's reputation was forever tarnished by the mysterious events of 1872. Subsequent owners often struggled with misfortune, further embedding the ship's eerie legend into maritime lore. Later, voyages and misfortunes. The Mary Celeste changed hands several times after the Gibraltar salvage hearings. Many of its later voyages were marred by bad luck and inexplicable events. 1873, 1880, 1. The ship operated under various owners, transporting goods across the Atlantic and Mediterranean. During this period, it suffered from several groundings and collisions, but continued to be repaired and put back into service. 1884. The ship's final owner, Captain Gilman C. Parker, acquired the Mary Celeste. In an ill-fated attempt to profit from the vessel, Parker intentionally wrecked her on Rocheleau Reef off the coast of Haiti in 1885 as part of an insurance fraud scheme. The plan failed, and the ship was deemed a total loss. Parker faced legal consequences, and the wrecked Mary Celeste was left to rot, marking the ignominious end of her sailing days.
Theories and interest renewed. Various abandonment of the Mary Celeste continued to capture public imagination long after the ship's demise. With each passing decade, new theories and speculations emerged, fueled by advances in maritime knowledge and popular interest in unexplained phenomena. Several notable authors and researchers contributed to the ship's enduring legacy. Arthur Conan Doyle. 1884, Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, wrote a short story titled J. Habakkuk Jepson's Statement. Fictional and heavily dramatized, the story was inspired by the Mary Celeste and helped popularize the mystery in the public consciousness. Documentaries and books. Documentaries, books, and articles have been produced over the years, each exploring different aspects of the mystery. Focused on the technical and historical details, while others have delved into more speculative and supernatural explanations. Scientific investigations. modern researchers have applied scientific methods to re-examine the evidence. For example, some have conducted chemical analyses of the remaining barrels and the ship's structure, seeking clues that might have been overlooked during earlier investigations. Continuing enigma. Despite the extensive research and myriad theories, the mystery of the Mary Celeste remains unsolved. Its abandonment represents a confluence of factors that are difficult to piece together without definitive evidence. Theories range from the plausible to the fantastical, but none have been able to provide a conclusive explanation. The West in popular culture. The Mary Celeste has become a cultural icon, symbolizing the enduring allure of maritime mysteries. Its story has been referenced in various forms of media, including literature. The ship's tale appears in numerous novels, short stories, and historical accounts, often serving as a touchstone for discussions about the unknown and the unexplained. And television. The Mary Celeste has been featured in several films and television programs, with dramatizations ranging from historical reenactments to speculative fiction. And exhibits. Maritime museums around the world often include exhibits about the Mary Celeste, highlighting the ship's history and the ongoing fascination with its mystery. Conclusion. The story of the Mary Celeste is a testament to the ocean's vast and often inscrutable nature. It reminds us that, despite our advancements in technology and understanding, some mysteries remain beyond our grasp. The disappearance of Captain Briggs, his family, and the crew of the Mary Celeste continues to be one of the greatest maritime enigmas, a puzzle that has intrigued and baffled generations. The legacy of the Mary Celeste lives on, not only as a historical curiosity, but as a symbol of the endless possibilities and uncertainties that the sea holds. It encourages us to ponder the unknown and to appreciate the complexities and dangers of life at sea. Whether it was a natural disaster, human error, or an extraordinary set of circumstances, the true story of the Mary Celeste remains lost to history, a ghost ship adrift in the annals of maritime lore.